Hello everybody and welcome back to the Realistic Formula Championship. Round 9 of Season 6 takes us to the Temple of Speed in Italy. Monza, the circuit, hosting today's event, and it's one of the fastest in Formula 1 with some of the most heavy braking zones as well, so plenty of room for drivers to get to the limits of their machinery, and certainly a different challenge to many other circuits. But anyway, that was last season's race results. Daniel Llorente winning that one. Jake Fluck had he had a 3-second time penalty that day, tried to get it removed, but he couldn't in the end, and that resulted in Daniel taking the victory. Tyre compound C5, C4, C3, second softest in the pro range, and yeah, I already skipped a load on that thing because the session was already basically starting. So anyway, let's get right into this, and let's hope that stuff is not lagging, and I think we're okay. I hope. Right, I need to invite people, so people can let me know in the chat if Sen or I need to get someone into a Haas as well. So that is what needs to be done. But anyway, let's just see. Right, here we go, Dylan. Let's just see, is anything lagging? Let me know. So I hope nothing is lagging. Nothing's lagging on my screen. Everything seems to work. So let's hope it stays that way. I'll have a little look in a couple minutes and see where the invite's Dylan there. Already getting into the gravel at the start of Q1. Dry conditions, seemingly, for this qualifying. So yeah, looks like it's pretty good. OS 10 seems to be having some difficulties there. There's also a Sauber without the right telemetry on. Might be Curie, I think. So someone can get onto them. That'll be good as well. Dylan here, doing a lovely slipstream from Rob Wilkinson. And then Harley in the Red Bull for this event goes to the top of the times with the first lap of Q1. And then Dylan now to cross the line, and he just misses out on beating that. And then I think Evan is just starting a lap, but I'm just going to quickly tab out because I need to just check if someone needs an invite. So I've got the chat open as well. Look, we're well advanced. OS 10 needs an invite. Let's just hope this works and doesn't lag everyone. We don't want another repeat of Miami. And also, I can't really see because of all the graphics everywhere. Right. See that freeze? Like that always happens when I try and invite someone. So right, Senel's not saying he needs an invite, but if someone can get another Xbox person to if someone can get another Xbox person to invite him, that would be ideal. Anyway, Evans now. I think that lag was just that lag just then was because of the invite. Bryn here. Dude, he's going for the intermediate pole. Here we go. No, we don't do intermediate pole. Let's see how far he's off on the inters anyway, because because we're watching this in the background anyway. 3.2 seconds off. Not that bad. Wilkinson there. 0.2 off. And then I think Mills just going up to the line. He's also doing the same intermediate thing. And then Harris now. Let's actually watch Harris on his first lap of the session. And the Haas there of, I'm not even going to, I don't know, 24. His name's 24. His name is something 24. We'll go with that. And Rio Harris now on home soil, of course, for his team, looking to put on a show for the Tifosi. And he is purple in the first sector. Into the second chicane. It's a bit deep. And then he goes into the gravel, similar to Dylan there. So that is not what Rio Harris wants. But, I mean, he's going to keep going with this. You don't want to waste those tyres. OS 10 just keeps disconnecting, so I don't know what's going on there. But Harris now up to Ascari. And he has lost some of the advantage he's had over Harley. And now he is on his way down to the Parabolica, the final corner. And we see the McLarens just warming up in the background, and Harris now on his way. He's the only one really on a lap at the moment, I think. And he crosses the line, and he does go quickest there by 90 milliseconds. So let's just have a quick little look. See, this was the second chicane moment. Yeah, and that was just not too ideal for him, and definitely lost him time in the middle sector. And then, yeah, the McLarens, they've both pulled in because they're on the Inters, so drop hooks now. Down to Ascari as well. See what the top speed is. 341. And he's half a second down on Harris. Not too bad, to be fair. Get him about 8th place as it stands. And now, that is not sunshine in the Williams. That is OS 10, who for some reason his 3 letters come out to, it's a sun. Yeah, I'm going to change that for next season. People are just going to have to live with having the first 3 letters of their name as the abbreviation. OS 10 wants another invite. Well, let's break the game again. If he keeps disconnecting, then at least it's not my fault this time. See that lag there. Anyway, does someone ask if Senor needs an invite? And someone try and get someone to go in a Haas as well, please. You don't need to be called bruh. Your name's Parker on the stream. So it's on there as Ram, but then it's actually Parker, so that's really confusing, which is what I'm saying. It would be P-A-R instead. Anyway, right. I think scenario 7 actually is on a really good lap. And while Harris saying how's EP1, I think F1 scenario 7's got something to say about that. Into the Parabolica. And then straight back onto the power. And it'll be the shortest run to the line. Doesn't quite cut it so much on the right hand side, but there we go. And he goes about 0.2 quicker than Rio Harris. And there we go. That is a good Q1 lap. And well, apparently Harris is now disconnected. You know my invites don't work. You know they don't work. Oh no, he's joined. He's joined. It's all fine. It's fine. He's joined. Right. Okay. And I don't see that anyone's actually on a lap. So, oh no, actually, I think Drophook's going again. Well, I mean, he's certainly pushing on. The Salva with play is K-U-R-R-E. Curie? And I don't know, someone try and ask them to put the settings on. I mean, before the race, they were messaging, or before then, they messaged me saying they don't actually, they didn't realize it was a realistic performance. So then they agreed to try for a Salva. But it's magic, Deep Moon. Yeah, it's this thing called SimHub, but I've made the graphics basically. Okay, and now it's time for the McLarens to show their hand. Mills purple in the middle, quicker than Bryn Evans by a couple of tenths there. Yeah, no, 4 tenths quicker in the middle sector. Mills over Evans. RFC R is Riley, I'm pretty sure. Now, I'm not the SimHub. All this is for this league, so there are similar overlays available online. Oh, and Mills is quickest now. Evans just slotting in behind, gained time then back in the last sector. Maybe that's to do with the battery usage. And there we go, Senor's in. And so then that should make that 19, but then obviously OS 10 is not in at the moment, and I did invite him, but yeah, I don't know if I need to invite him again. Just someone say if I do. I can't see the Discord, I can see the chat though. Rio Harris has retired from the session. He thinks his lap time is good enough. And I probably agree with him being in fourth. I mean, you don't know what sort of pace he can find. I don't quite know what's going on with Rob there. Because, I mean, well, that's race over before it started. I've obviously missed something. But then he's down there in 15th, even though his lap is, 0.769 away from Mills. And that should be above. But then it's on the timing screen as well. Everything. I think he's retired. So it's going to... I don't know. Well, did he crash out or something? I don't know. And then... There we go. So that was Curie there. I will invite you again, but stop disconnecting, please. Scari's claimed Rob. So Rob is going to be out of the session. So it must be it's just relegated him. Has he actually been relegated? Yeah, it has. It's put him down in 15th there. I don't know. Anyway, I think Senor's out there about to do his first lap after joining a bit late. We don't have a second Haas driver though. But yeah. So Mills, Evans, Harris, Alfie in the Sauber have all retired from the session. It's Alfie Webster there, even though for some reason his 3 letters he wants is Alf, even though his name's Webster. So you'd think it would be Webb, but hey ho. Well, let's see, there seems to be the Haas behind there of 24. Yeah, it's all this Eagle guy, isn't it? He's banned someone and now he's let it in. Yeah, full qualifying. So, I mean, just look, 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, all like red. And it also says Q1 on the left-hand side. Anyway, Senor into the second Lesmo. And he's invalidated. So not ideal, and now we will... No, that Haas is backed off. He didn't ban anyone. It's just that Ilias can't race for the rest of this season. Okay, so drivers just making their way out of the pits now. We'll have a little look and see. This guy's going into the pits and Senor is going for another lap. So I think the Haas there of JISHD has been eliminated. And now Senor on another lap. And into the second chicane, he is up from what he did previously in the first sector, because it's green there, and he doesn't go into the gravel like Rio Harris did. And now into second Lesmo, he's got a car ahead, who is Stanio, I think. No, well, actually, his name on Xbox doesn't have the... I always used to say Senor Ghost, and then I just stopped. Can't be bothered. Right, I'll say it right. Senor Ghost. He's running to the line. Is he going to get out of Q1 here? This is his only lap. He's into 9th. And that should be fine, I think. Actually, JISHD is actually out there again. Is he going to make it to the line, though? I don't quite know. Anyway, into... Let's see, are they going to get some slipstream here for the Aston Martins? OS10's left the session again. I mean, there we go. And Stanio into that second chicane, right on the power. Some sort of traction control going on there. That was some very quick throttle being put on. And now into Lesmo 1, Lesmo 2. Just, he's doing some Ayrton Senna technique there, trying to keep his foot on the power when he's braking, and he's gone into the gravel. He's not invalidated, and now he's on his way down to Ascari here. He's half second down on Mills. I mean, he might still get out of Q1 with this lap, even though he's all over the road. And now he's down to... Now running down to Parabolica. And throwing it in. This is the last lap he's going to get. JISHD did not make the checkered flag. Stanio to the line. It's only 16th. So that's it for the knockout zone already, I think. Estevrex is in 10th. Dropbox is invalidated. Tarantino's invalidated. Danny Zvart, is he pushing on? No, he doesn't look like he is. Coyd has backed off. JISHD is not going to be progressing. So that is it for Q1. We have some commands in the chat as well. If you do exclamation mark commands, I mean. Anyway, there we go. That is it for the first part of qualifying. Well, Wilkinson's also out there technically, but obviously yeah, it's just to do with the way the game works, as I believe Bramble said, Ruben Parker, earlier in the chat. Anyway. Okay. Mills and Evans topped the times in their first race as teammates at McLaren. Anyway, I think we can get a quick little replay here. This was Stanio on his lap. As you can see, the second Lesmo is really strange. And then he went off, but the game didn't disallow it. But I mean, it wasn't too great anyway. And then Anyway, if someone wants to get a Haas driver in, just someone can ping free agents and get a Haas in, that would be ideal. Yeah. Okay. Q2. About to get underway, or it has got underway. Green light at the end of the pit lane. And it looks like Harley is already going out. And then Rio as well. They are both Red Bull cars out in formation. And then we have Racing Bulls, is it? I think. Williams as well. There's the Racing Bulls there. There we go. Ruben Parker in the Racing Bulls. I will give you another invite, but this doesn't seem sustainable. Hang on. Can't even find him. Refresh. Where is Eagle? Eagle is in a pub right now. Eagle's not here on a Friday anyway, because that is what he does on a Friday. No, and look at this. The stream is working. All right, I will do a long scroll. Oh, no, wait, he's there now. Okay. Okay. Invite's been sent through. I mean, at least he seems to be able to accept the invites, unlike some people when they've had invites from me. So, okay. Red Bull about to get underway. Scenario 7 seems to be towing along here. Harley behind him. Actually, have a quick little look back. They are going very close on track here. A battle in the race, right. Let's see if Scenario 7's actually doing a lap. Although, I mean, there is dirty air, of course, but is the slipstream going to counteract that? I mean, the dirty air is quite bad. Trying to look at the tyre wear, Scenario 7. They're both on used tyres. Scenario 7 there, catching the gravel as well. And then getting all out of shape as well, having to lift off from the power into Lesmo 2. And down to Ascari with Scenario 7, the winner, of course, from Silverstone, pole sitter as well. And, well, Rio Harris has gone purple in the first sector, Harley purple in the middle on Scenario 7, and Harley very much evenly matched on this lap. I mean, considering they're running right next to each other, yeah, they are remarkably close in lap time. Danny Zwart in the second Ferrari, as well as Rio Harris. He's gone purple in the middle. And Harley is quicker than Scenario 7 by 12 milliseconds on this first run, as now we will see Rio Harris. Rio Harris goes quickest. What can Danny do? Danny's peeled into the pits, actually. And then, actually, we're going to have a little look and see what the McLarens are up to. This is Bryn Evans. He's on the Inters. What about his teammate? Yeah, they're both on the Inters. As Dylan's gone quickest now, and the two McLarens have crossed the line, but they're not really pushing on. The Sauber here has picked up wing damage. He's destroyed his front wing. So, don't quite know what's happened to him, but that's pretty not great. Anyway, let's just have a little look at a replay, and let's see if I can fight at the same time. Yeah, that was the moment when Scenario 7. And by the time we get back to live action, the invite's gone through. Andre Tarantino is invalidated. Danny is on another outlap. Now I wonder if he invalidated as well on his lap. That's why he peeled into the pits, or maybe it just wasn't his best lap. Anyway, this is Senor Ghost. Ghosts is down to the Parabolica. And he looks like he might be winding up for another lap here, actually. So let's keep watching, because the only one we can really see doing much at the moment. There we go, he is 1.5 seconds off, but that's not the actual lap he wants to put on the board. So, through the first chicane. Seem to get it stopped all well. Into the Della Roggia chicane, I believe this is called. But again, it's a bit strange braking there, and he's invalidated as well now. So, that is the lap gone for Senor Ghosts. Yeah, strange. But anyway, let's just have a quick little look at that, actually. Because he just seemed like he had a double stab at the brakes and then just cut across the second part. But anyway, time to see what Danny's got. Because he is now looking to get a first lap on the board of Q2. Dry conditions for qualifying here at Monza. Highest speeds on the calendar. And now nice traction out of the first chicane. That is Andre Tarantino just getting out of the way and making sure he doesn't impede Danny there. Danny just under 800ths of a second outside of Dylan's time. Jarvis Coyd keeps seeming to leave and join as well. I don't quite know what's up there, but anyway, into Lesmo 2. And then gets out of it smoothly. Clean exit all the way down to Ascari. And then purple in the middle sector like he did before in his previous lap. He's gone even quicker though. And now he's gained back some time to Dylan in the middle part of the lap. And Danny now, one more braking point into Parabolica. Gets onto the grass a little bit on the inside there. And that will have cost him a little bit of time as he runs to the line. And he does go quickest by nearly 2/10 despite that, so didn't cost him much. That little tap of the grass there on the inside did wash him out a bit, but he's still seemingly got the power down okay. And now, yeah, time for some more runs, I guess. Some people are just going out the pits again. So, let's Dropux, I think. Yeah, Dropux is on his way. Down to Ascari. Only 11 corners here at Monza, so there's not very much. Yeah, he does have to focus on those heavy braking zones, but still a tricky track to master and get every last millisecond. Slow corners, of course, you can make up the most time, so corners like turn 1, 2, obviously, are going to be key. And drop hooks. Now, right at the track limits on the inside there, and he's into 6th. So not bad for the Alpine at all. And now, Bryn Evans is using some very used tyres for this run, but let's see what he's up to anyway. Compared to Danny, he's 3.5 tenths down, catches the grass on the inside, on the outside on the way to the Ascari chicane, and then he seems to cut the inside as well. So, yeah. Let's go back to... No, there's nothing going on there. Yeah, that was the grass, and then... Yeah, just cut across there. Alex Mills needs an invite. Well, let's give it a go. I mean, I'm sure Bryn can give him an invite. You've got to think. He's joined. Yeah, Bryn's invited him. Fine. F1 Scenario 7 has gone purple in the first sector. What is his middle sector split going to be? And he's up by 3.5 tenths on Danny's time. A little bit wide maybe there into Ascari, but he's picking up a distant toe now from Harley. Harley, who seems to be enjoying himself in the Red Bull this week compared to the Racing Bulls he had in Silverstone. And now scenario 7 cuts the beam and he does go quickest as Harley does also improve. He's in 3rd. Yep. Okay. For some reason, something... Let me just click a button quickly, because then it should help with the lap timer appearing smoother. Let's hope that doesn't break everything. Okay. Keep saying okay. There's no one doing a lap. Okay. Stop saying okay. Stop saying okay. Alfie Webster is just starting a lap. Is he? No. The timer wasn't working, but he does go into 8th. It works as he crosses the line. Yeah, Bryn definitely needs a lap here. With just 3 minutes and 40 seconds to go, otherwise... And also Alex Mills, of course. They're both copying what each other are doing. And they're both putting themselves in a little bit of danger here. Mills as well. Bit of used tyres going on, but the McLaren has got the pace, of course. And then I think Harris is just starting a lap. So let's actually go to the Ferrari. And there we go. The timer appears a bit better. And Harris down to turn 1. Danny's Vart retires. His lap time, he thinks, is good enough. And now Harris through the Curva Grande and down to that second chicane. See the second time come in. It's not a personal best in the first sector. 10th down on F1 scenario 7. Right out to the gravel for Rio Harris, who is still pushing on because he thinks he just wants a lap for safety here. And he wants to use these tyres now, and surely he can gain some time in the final 2 sectors. And there we go, purple in the middle sector, into Ascari, right out to the curb, flat out now, down to the Parabolica. Harris being roared on by the Tifosi. Also Danny Zvart as well, being roared on. What is going on there? That seemed all out of shape. He's lagging or something. As now he is going to cross the line, and he does go into 2nd place. So that seemed like some very strange braking there, but it's all under control. As now, this is now going to be key for the McLaren cars, because they are at risk. They are in danger. But they've both got 2 green sectors, as you'd like to think, because the other lap was on the Inters. Alex Mills across the line, he goes into 2nd as Bryn Evans sets the quickest time. So the McLarens have saved themselves. And now that is going to be Steverex, I think, trying to get himself out of the bottom 4 that we have, because Rob got eliminated due to crashing in Q1. Steverex just about makes it out, but there's still laps to come from Dropux, and also his teammate Ruben Parker, who could yet get and spoil that party of getting into the top 10 shootout. Dylan here, 2 green sectors, marginally up on his personal best. Crosses the line. Does he improve any positions? He doesn't. He stays in 7th, but he does kind of secure himself a little bit more. And this is going to be key for Ruben Parker to get himself out of the bottom 4 through the second Lesmo. Flat out DRS open. And we'll see the sector split. Obviously this is comparing to Evans, but he's only 3/10 down on Evans. That seems pretty good. Gives the corner a wide berth. And now on this little back straight down to the Parabolica. As behind, Steverex is not on a lap. This seems like the last. Dropux, I think, also on a lap. Slightly down in the first sector on his previous best. Still quicker than Parker, though, as Parker crosses the line, doesn't get out of the bottom 5. Bottom 4 has now Dropux. Dropux is trying to see if he can knock Steverix out, and he's only marginally down on Evans through the first 2 sectors. This looks like Dropux is turning it on here for this last lap in Q2. And he could yet save himself from the drop zone. Dropux on his way. Steverix has done all that he can, but is it enough to starve off Dropux's threat? Dropux just needs to make it to the line and see what it is. Dropux across the line. It is Q3 for Dropux, and Steverix is eliminated in this second part of qualifying. Steverix misses out by 14 milliseconds as Senor Ghost crosses the line to go into 7th place. But that was the battle to get into the top 10 shootout, and it was Dropux who got it at the death. No, I could have sworn I asked somebody to ping free agents to get someone in a Haas, but now no one has joined. No one, I've not been told to invite anyone, I don't think. So, well, it's Q3 time. Let's just see what the last replay I had was. This was just the Rio thing. A bit of lag there. I thought it was going to cost them time, but in the end, it was all good. So, Q3. It's just sectors, that's not going to work. No, luckily Eagle's already getting the boot at the end of the season. He's booting himself. He's going to boot you from FIA if you're not careful. Okay. Just stop saying okay. Now, obviously he's not going to boot you from the FIA, but he is meant to be joining your team. And he's definitely not doing FIA documents like you. Because it takes far too long. So Dylan is going to be the first one to settle up used tyres. Yeah, could someone also ping Kurre, Curie, however you say their name, to tell them to put the telemetry on, please, if someone didn't already do it. And well, Dylan into the first chicane. A little bit wide there, maybe on the second part, but he's going to get a bit of an Aston Martin help here from Senor Ghosts, who is Going to tow him all the way down to the De La Rocha chicane. Now braking for that. Gets a bit on to the grass there. Somehow doesn't set a personal best. Even though he did, it's 26.1 from him. We have 26.0 from Mills. 26.1 from Zvart. 26.2 from Tarantino. 26.1 from Evans. Invite Ben free Gayant. I will invite him if I have him added. Is his name Dark Ben by any chance? If it is, I have him added. So we'll get rid of the lap time for now because clearly there's something wrong. But anyway, Dylan is going to cross the line, first lap of Q3, and it's going to be immediately followed up. Yep, something is... Gamab is his name. The same glitch that happened in Silverstone in Q2 is happening here in Q3. So I'm going to apologise. There's going to be a bit of a thing popping up. Gamab is his name, right? His name is Gamab. Do I have him added? Because I have Dark Ben _ 10. Okay, there we go. All right, it's a quick fix, that one at least, compared to whatever was happening yesterday. It's happened in the worst possible session, but it's all good. Okay, F1 scenario 7 has gone quickly through the first two sectors. Harley right there once again as F1 scenario 7 crosses the line, goes quickest, and then Harley slots into second, making a Red Bull front row provisionally. So whoever that is, can you make them add me? Right. Oh wait, he's added me on Steam. Perfect. His name is literally Ben on Steam. He can just right click on me and then join. That's good. Hey, Danny's in the pits. Senor Ghosts. He is, I think, trying to go for a lap. It's on very used tyres though. He's got no ERS, so I don't think this is going to be too great of a lap. Let's just have a little look here. See scenario 7 compared to Harley Self there. And yeah, Ken is sending me a message. How long in Q3? Just 6 minutes. Why can I not see him on my friends list? Just someone tell him to right click on me on Steam and then press join. So that is the first run's done. Danny straight away going back out there. Well then, Danny, the only one on the track. I don't think he's got new tyres for this last run, if this is a last run. Might have time to get back into the pits, depending. It's not that long of a lap around Monza. Ben has joined. We have a Haas. So technically we're going to have a full grid, but then some of them are going to be not actually here yet. Oh, Ben has left. Ben decided. What happened? At least he can join freely. Because it's not like... Yeah, he can just join from Steam. Danny into the first chicane. And once again, it's nice and smooth from Danny. All the times we've seen him. Not been really much going on wrong, at least. And he's slightly outside F1 Scenario 7, who seems to have good pace again. The McLarens have not shown their hand yet in qualifying really at all. I mean, Q2, the end of Q2, they were quite quick. Danny's Vart touches the inside there, and again! And he goes into the gravel. So that is not ideal at all for the Ferrari on home soil. He just got onto the grass there. And then again, it was just a very violent turn-in that seemed too early. Speed being carried there. And yeah, that was enough for him to not get that lap. So, I mean, he'd probably be pulling into the pits now. You'd have to think he's pulling into the pits. Indeed he is, so he'll go for another run. Right, this is it for Bryn Evans, I think. I did think he might be grabbing a setup quickly or something. Well, at least he's done that and he's on PC and he can join really quickly, because otherwise he wouldn't be able to do that. Because, yeah, you just... If you're on console, good luck trying to get an invite from me quickly in terms of it working. I mean, I might send one if I know I need to send one, but there we go. Ben has joined. As this is it for Q3 then, Bryn Evans looking to get pole position here, be in the mix, try and get provisional pole. He's always said he's gone better in the races than qualifying, but Monza, you want to be towards the front. It can turn into a bit of a DRS train. And now the second chicane has been dealt with. He's slightly outside of F1 Scenario 7's time. Into the first Lesmo. Keeps it clean. Lesmo 2. And again, keeps it clean. Maybe you have seen some drivers cutting the inside more there, but obviously that could be a preference, so it might just be something that's happened on this lap. There we go, slightly up on F1 Scenario 7 into the Ascari chicane. And here we go, this is the slipstream. Alex Mills is going to be towing Bryn Evans along down to Parabolica. As Evans now runs it right out to the left-hand side and then back over to the right to cross the line for McLaren at Monza and to go to provisional pole with just over a minute to go. As now Rio Harris has backed off. No, he's on his way. He is on his way. I was thinking that he might have backed off, but Rio Harris looking to put up the challenge through the second Lesmo. Rio Harris looking to get Ferrari where they want to be at Monza. The Tifosi are roaring as Rio Harris has gone purple in the middle sector. Rio Harris up on Bryn Evans so far. Alex Mills has the quickest first sector. He's gone a couple tenths quicker than Rio Harris. But now, obviously, there's no more slipstream for him. Rio Harris without a slipstream, I don't think, on this lap. And now, to run it to the line, can he get to provisional pole at Monza? He goes onto the front row. It wasn't enough in the end. That slipstream for Bryn Evans in the last sector seemed to make a big difference there. And Alex Mills is lighting up the timing screens purple. Purple in the first sector, purple in the middle sector. Can Alex Mills get provisional pole like he did at Silverstone last week? Will he hold it this time? He does cross the line to go to provisional pole by 87 milliseconds. Is there anyone else that's going to try and take it away? Dylan's invalidated. Tarantino crosses the line. Tarantino in 6th for Williams. Now it's the turn of the Red Bulls. First, it's going to be Harley. Harley looking to get the Red Bull onto the second row. Oh, he spins it across the line there, Harley. And F1 Scenario 7's invalidated his lap. Send your ghosts on his way to the Parabolica. Danny's Vart as well, still trying to finish his last lap. Send your ghost for Aston Martin across the line. It's up to 6th. Where will Danny be? Danny's invalidated. No lap time on the board for Danny. Dropbox is about 4 tenths up on his previous best. Can he beat Dylan here, at least, as he goes to cross the line? Dylan now. And he does beat Dylan. He also beats Andre. But it's Alex Mills who takes pole position at Monza. And McLaren with a front row lockout. The first race that Alex Mills and Bryn Evans were teammates, and they've locked out the front row. Well then, time for the race. Time to see what's going to happen. Two McLarens probably going to be playing some kind of team game. Strategies as well. The one stop can be tricky to try and make. That is for sure. And I don't know if that's going to work. So tyre wear's high. But yeah. And I don't think the Red Bulls showed their full pace there. No, in the end, they didn't get quite clean laps. Harley, of course, spinning. And then also, yeah, F1 Star 7 invalidating. So they've definitely got potential, but they need to get ahead or try to get ahead of some drivers. Rio Harris also involved, of course, on the second row. And his teammate Danny down in 10th. And now we're just waiting for someone to ready up, I think. But anyway, until then, let's just see what we think's going to happen. Scenario had a screen freeze. That is unfortunate. Oh, I think, yep, formation lap underway. A couple of seconds time. There we go. The McLaren's leading the way. A lot of medium tyres. We'll get confirmation of the tyres in about 10 seconds time. And everything's loaded in. Tyre management is going to be key. And Coyd there, who seems to be having issues all the time, has left the session once again. Someone can please ping that Sauber, because I don't think they've put... Yeah, they still haven't put the thing on. Oh, there's contact there, I think. Between the Aston and Sauber, potentially. No one's been set back, though. The name is Kurre, but they've got 2 accounts in the server. So you might just need to ping both of them. There's something like they didn't have the verification email set up right or something. Anyway, mediums for the top 11, then Alfie, Alfie there on the... What is Webster? Alfie Webster on the hards. Then we got Ruben Parker on the medium, Jarvis Coyd on the hards if he's able to join. Rob Wilkinson on the mediums. And then we have Stanio on the hard tyre. Cure on the hard tyre. And then OS10. OS10 is OS10 alive? I think he is. He's doing okay. And then we have JISHD and Ben on the mediums. So Ben is here. And luckily, since his name's so simple, I don't even have to set up any graphics. Just Ben on both things. Just like his in-game name. Lovely. Mills getting ready to line up and see no one in front of him. Evans as well, wonder what the tactics will be. So in terms of them trying to maintain their lead on the first lap and obviously the subsequent laps. See Dropper's already picked about 7% tyre wear there. 8% rear left, so really destroying the tyres. It's probably not going to do the setting now, but you may as well try. Anyway, there's a green flag being waved at the front here. We see this awkward camera angle that we saw yesterday. And the Italian Grand Prix is going to be just moments away. Ben has left the session. We have 5 red lights at Monza. It's lights out and away we go. The McLarens then both getting away. It looks like the McLaren on the inside. That looks like Bryn Evans already taking the lead down towards the first chicane. The 2 Red Bulls side by side as Rio Harris there. And the Red Bull of, I think that's Harley, are riding on top of each other. The 2 McLarens swap over again as Alex now takes back the lead of the Italian Grand Prix. Rio Harris has been overtaken by F1 Scenario 7 in the Red Bull side by side, almost going into the second chicane. Rio Harris trying to defend his position from the other Red Bull of Harley, who seem to already have had some kind of contact there down towards the first corner. Jarvis Coyd has retired on the opening lap, and now we run down towards Ascari. We see wheel-to-wheel action there with Danny Zvart trying to get past Andre Tarantino in the Williams. Danny's going round the outside. Danny has got that place. Stanio there side by side, almost pushing off the Sauber of Kure there. And the Kure has dropped down, and now OS10's also got past. JISHD also getting past. And now Webster having a little look. But Alex Mills does lead the Italian Grand Prix. It's still a McLaren 1-2 as we're on the second lap now. F1 Scenario 7 getting past Rio Harris. Of course, we did see the Red Bull and Ferrari having a little moment there down towards first corner, but anyway, let's see what will happen. Has Dropbox disconnected, or is he just... No, I think he was just ghosted there because there might have been contact. And they still go close down to the De La Rozier chicane as the Mercedes of Wilkinson trying to make up a move. Danny Zvart getting past Dylan in the Mercedes down into that second chicane. But the DRS train fills most of the grid at the moment. JISHD getting out of shape as OS10 in the Williams is lurking there, but nothing really going on. And Harris looking to gain back the place he lost. Ben rejoining the race. He already disconnected just before the lights went out, basically. Oh, in the background, that looks like the Sauber. There's another Sauber. It's Kure. Kure there has gone off, and he's spun. But the other Sauber also having a moment there, as it looks like Harley. What has happened to Harley here? Harley. He's dropping down so many places here. I can't even swap to him. Harley has picked up right end plate damage. I don't know what happened there, but there was definite contact. There must have been if he's got damage. Wilkinson and Parker side by side. And Parker will surely get the power down better on that line that he had. And Wilkinson just has to tuck in behind. And he might still try and get the run through the Curva Grande. No ERS for the Mercedes, and he's just going to have to sit behind. But, well, that was absolute chaos for the Sauber there. Let's just have a quick little check. That was the one Sauber going off. And then we saw the other Sauber spinning off in the background. So that was peculiar. But, yeah, let's go back to the live action and see. We already have time penalties, actually. Let's get them on. They're all 3 seconds. Harley with the wing damage, of course. No idea what happened to him. Someone might have caught it. So I think it kind of happened in the background, but I was too busy looking at something else. And Stanio is maybe even trying to challenge the Red Bull. But the McLaren's starting to just break away a little bit on the last lap. Trying to stretch their advantage, but Scenario 7 still keeping them in check, as is Rio Harris. Senior Ghosts now having to defend. Not really defending, letting Dylan, I think, overtake there. Or maybe, yeah, I think Dylan did overtake there, if I'm not wrong. Or it's just not attacking if he was. Yeah, I think Dylan did go around the outside there. Not really. It's mainly that they might be dropping out of DRS so the car's ahead. Because the gap now over is second. That could be crucial if these top 5 all get away. It looks like they have. Unless Dylan can pull out a magical Lesmo complex, if you want to call it that. But he's dropped out of DRS. So are they going for DRS shed to get back in, or is he going to burn the ERS? Has he got the ERS capability to get back up to the cars ahead? Let's just have a little look at the ERS levels, and let's also see that was the start of the race. The times for the, there we go, that was the time for the 0 to 200 kilometers an hour off the line. And Evans, we did see getting ahead, but then he seemingly lost the place again. I don't know if that was just kind of team tactics. Here we go with Rio Harris getting past F1 Scenario 7. But the two McLarens, they have so much ERS compared to those behind. As F1 Scenario 7 slightly taps Rio Harris there, going through turn 2, and that could have spun around the Ferrari. Danny Zvart as well, looking to go around the outside now. Curry retires in the pits. Late braking here from Danny, even later braking from Scenario 7 to maintain that place. And Danny there. Yeah, that was, let's just have a little look. Rio getting past. Oh, Danny there as well in the live action, I think getting a bit out of shape. And that might even let Dylan here have a little look. Because Danny, I think, went very wide. F1 Scenario 7, he's also dropped off from Rio Harris as the McLarens have now made their break. And they're trying to get that second gap. And it's almost there. It is almost there. It's just teetering on the edge of a second. 1.08, 1.1. And they have got Rio Harris out of DRS. Rio Harris seems like third place is going to be his best. If the McLarens keep this pace up, he's broken away from Scenario 7. I don't know if it was Scenario 7 who maybe had that moment. And then that cost Danny as well. But Danny's right with Scenario 7. And will Danny make a late lunge into the first chicane? And not on this occasion. Tarantino getting past Senor Ghosts. And Senor Ghosts now settling down into 8th place. As the Sauber just kind of dropping off in the background, still in the points though, which would be a good thing for Sauber. I think they've got 8 points this season, if I'm not wrong. So that would certainly help them out. Another 2. I mean, it doesn't make them go above any teams, but it does certainly help. Scenario 7 seemingly not able to get there. Rio Harris, has he engineered back into DRS? I think he has, as Danny there gets a time penalty. Danny Zvart, 3-second time penalty. 1.9 seconds now quicker was Harris than Scenario 7. Don't know what is happening in Scenario 7. I don't think he's picked up damage. Not seeing damage. Tyres very bad, 51%. And Danny now is going to be in the wheel tracks, but also Harris might be looming large on the 2 race leaders. Those are the ERS levels between them. How's the straight line speed going to compare? Harris with less ERS. Of course, he had to burn to get back within their range. Evans doing well to manage. Mills leading the race. And Danny ahead of scenario 7 into the first chicane. And Danny will be seeing if he can bridge the gap cars ahead and maybe just see if he can break away like Rio did. Dylan as well might be getting involved. There's a bit of a little battle going on between Steverex and Dropux as Harley has pitted, possibly for repairs there. Repair his wing and see if he can... Ooh, the Williams there in the background. Tarantino getting a bit out of shape. And is that going to invite Senor Ghosts to have a go? Senor Ghosts doesn't seem to be deploying much ERS down here. And he'll just bide his time for the time being. 3-second time penalties going in. We have 6 seconds for Rob already out there. Those are the warnings for everyone. And now we potentially do see Alfie Webster here gaining. He's a 10th away. Mills now going for the stop. Here we go. This is going to trigger the 2-stop strategy, it must be, at Monza. In the background, scenario 7. Trying to pull out the slipstream. Alfie there. Getting past Senor Ghosts. And Alfie Webster is into 6th place. Great race from the Kick-Sauber driver reserve so far. Didn't even get out. I think he did get allocated in the end. after a long kind of wait to see if Sauber would actually do anything. They did in the end. And yeah, Alfie is racing from Kuwait, has retired from the race in the pits. That's going to cost them 500k. So it's not great for them because they don't have a lot of cash already, but going to cost them a little bit more. Evans is leading the race now because of the pit stop for Alex Mills. Alex Mills in some clean air here, and Rio also stopping. But is he within DRS? No, he is not. Gap over a second now. And I wonder where Bryn Evans is going to shake out into this, because certainly if you're going to make 2 stops, you want to make the optimum 2 stops. Who was that with the penalty there? I don't actually know, but he was covered. But Bryn Evans now in the pit lane as the Ferrari as well. Danny Zwart pulls into the pits himself. Mills is going to catch Steverex here, I think. Well, there, he's going to catch Stadio, I think. Oh no, he's overtaken. There we go. He has overtaken. And we'll see the gaps shake out now to actually see what's actually happening. There we go. So Evans is out behind Harris, who has then got a buffer of Stanio between him and Alex Mills. So the leading cars will be wanting to get past as soon as they can. They don't want to be held up, that is for sure, by the Aston Martin, but they certainly are, because look at the gap change. Look at how much Stanio is dropping away. Harris now looking to get through. I'm sure Evans will be following suit, probably on the same straight, to be honest. And Evans there pulling to the outside, and Evans has also got the place ahead of Stanio. And now Evans is going to have to work his way past Rio Harris. No real changes out front at the moment. Alfie Webster hanging on to those 2 ahead on the hard compounder tyre, of course, the Sauber. So he's giving himself a bit of a different strategy, seeing if he can be brought into play. And now Evans, I think, is going to be going for net second in the race, down to the first chicane. Harris offers a bit of a defence, but then they make contact as Evans tries to dive up the inside, kind of almost moves across slightly there. I don't know if Evans moved slightly into Harris there, or got slightly spooked out, but Harris is going to try and fight this back, actually. Down into the second chicane. Evans defends the inside. Evans maintains the place for the time being. Harris surely not going to make a move into the Lesmos, and he doesn't. And yeah, he is behind. Is he going to try and get back past with DRS though? Down to Ascari. It's kind of, yeah, the McLarens split up now. Harris not quite going for a move just yet. Let's quickly have a little look. That's a bit after really what we want to see. They slightly wheel bang there, but I slightly saved the replay slightly too late, I think. But yeah, Dylan now taking the lead because Scenario 7 is, yeah, Scenario 7 is pitting. Harris with Evans. Evans much better tyres than Harris. And now let's see the ERS between the two of them. That is not the ERS we want to see. We want to see the ERS between these two. They're both recharging now into turn 1, of course. And Evans is ahead of Harris. But Harris with a good exit through the Curva Grande. Is he going to make a Grande move? Evans offering the defense. Harris looking to potentially go down the inside. Evans defends the inside line. Harris is going to try and cut back. Slightly bounces over the curb there. And he doesn't quite get the exit he would have been looking for. Evans going wide. And Evans picking up the track limit penalty there. And the exit of the first Lesmo. We're in Evans. And I think in the background, that Stanio's gone off and into the gravel there. So we did see that in the background. And Stanio's now been overtaken as well by Steverate Scenario 7. A load of cars have got by, but he's not pitted yet. So it's kind of, he's offset. He's kind of doing the Alfie strategy, but Alfie's obviously in the lead of the race now. So it's kind of, they're in different places. But let's just have a little look. This was Evans. Yep. They're just running wide, picking up that penalty. We didn't quite catch the next thing on the replay, but yeah, Sauber leading the race. Oh, another defensive shape thrown from Bryn Evans, and Harris seeing if he can get the momentum now. He's certainly closer than he was on the previous lap. And Harris once again, Will Evans offer the defense, slightly holds the middle of the track, tries to cover off both the outside and the inside, and he's out of the corner ahead. And Evans doesn't run wide this time. 3 track limits for Bryn Evans. Rio Harris catching a bit of the grass there. No track limits for Rio Harris so far. But it seems like Alex Mills has escaped. Bryn Evans trying to fight for second place, the net second place. Of course, there's a safety car. Alfie might be in luck, depending on what you can do, because, I mean, maybe they can go to the end on hards. I don't know. These drivers, they might. I mean, people like Alex Mills, they're already on about 30%, so I'm just thinking Alfie there, his tyres, they're not too bad, but obviously you've got to, I don't think they're going to, yeah, I don't think they're going to make it to the end, because he's done 13 laps, he's on 73. Well, 12 laps, actually, he's on 73. And here we go, into the first chicane again. Harris sticks his nose in there, and they slightly collide, going through turn 2. And Bryn Evans is allowed to go back in front for the time being. But now Evans does kind of lift off a bit, but then they wheel bang, and Evans is going to try and fight on the inside, I think. No, Harris is now ahead of Bryn Evans. So they slightly tapped there. It was very similar to an incident I had once in an RFC race in season 3. That kind of clumsy turn 2 where you think you're alongside and then there's contact. Now Evans is going to be getting back ahead. Look at the time they've lost to the cars ahead, though. They're probably even dropping time to Alfie Webster there. And Evans does get back ahead. There's a yellow. That looks like the Haas of JISHD. He's gone off. And Wilkinson's back here. Yeah, don't know what's up with Wilkinson, but yeah, Harris now will be looking to get back past Evans. Ruben Parker's picked up a 3-second time penalty. And Harris now looking to get by on Bryn Evans. Made contact here on the previous lap. What's it going to be this time? Harris is forced a long way round. Evans brakes late enough to hold that place. Can Harris cut back? He slightly bounces over the curb, kills his momentum. And now he is getting a great slipstream. Seems like Evans is having to, or he is trying to conserve his ERS, and there's potentially a gap to the inside. Then he holds him off again. There's another yellow. That looks like the house of JISHD at the Parabolica. Seems to be going very slowly. No safety car though. He's got back going, I think. Let's just have a quick little check. What is he doing? What is he doing here? Someone get onto him. Has he got a puncture? He seems to be grinding the tyres. And Evans having to defend again from Rio Harris into Ascari there. Let's just have a little look. This was them into, that was a couple of laps ago. And that was the contact there. And Harris now trying to get past Evans again. Alfie Webster's in the pits. Mills has taken the lead, actually, this time. And is Harris close enough, burning all the ERS? Bryn Evans not really burning his. He's still got about 40%. Harris, again, is forced a long way round. This time he'll cut back a bit smoother. And can he get the run this time? They're going to go wheel to wheel, potentially round the Curva Grande. Evans has the better ERS level to get back in front. And Harris still trying to get in the slipstream. And is potentially just trying to shape up for the inside, make Evans defend his position. But he's not able to force the McLaren into a mistake. Danny Zvart's also caught up to this. He's on the medium compound tyres at this point of the race, so he's a bit quicker. He's got the fastest lap of the race, and he's right with them now. Alex Mills, meanwhile, 9/10 quicker on the previous lap. And that was, yeah, just they're battling, and Mills is just able to keep it clean. Bryn Evans still managing the tyres well, though, compared to Alex Mills. Look at Mills. Oh, the Mercedes of Wilkinson is off there at the second chicane, and yeah, I don't quite know what he's up to. But now the battle once again ensues, and now we have the two Ferraris against the McLaren of Bryn Evans. In the background, Tarantino's quite close to scenario 7. I don't think he's going for a move there. And Harris, are they recharging their batteries, or are they? I don't quite know. Evans has certainly got more ERS than Harris at the moment. You think with having the DRS, Harris should be able to recoup the ERS a bit easier. A few pit stops further back. Alfie moving up some places. Is Alfie going to go to the end of the race? Wilkinson again. He's got damage there. Green flag. Whoa, as he's feeding the pits. Then he retires. And, well then, let's have another little check of ERS levels. And there we go. Harris recouping a bit. The Div 2 race director will be in the stream. It's in the stream. Just look at the stream. I managed to just get it in once Rio had finished saying them all. Because he was reading out all of the names, and I was like, I just need to get the race director. I managed to get it just in the last couple of seconds. So, not quite burning going on here. Tarantino just happy to follow scenario 7, it seems, and now Mills is starting to lose a bit of time, I think, to the cars behind, while behaving a little bit more. Yellow flag at the first chicane. I think that's just, is that Wilkinson retiring? Dropbook's retiring as well now. He's in the pits. I think that's just the pit lane retirement carrying over here. Danny has pitted for a second time. And Rio catching the gravel there. And now the DRS being deployed from Harris. Bryn Evans constantly has more battery. He's been able to hold on to the position for now. Another yellow at turn 1. I think that's just a retirement going out there again. That might just be Dropix's car retiring on the track. But anyway, the close battles have kind of stopped. Let's see what Danny Zwart can do, because obviously he's now going to be undercutting technically here. Or, I mean, he is undercutting. He'll be ahead of Harris and Evans, you'd think, if he doesn't, make a mistake. And there we go. McLaren, double stacking here. Let's see. Is there any time delay? He has to slightly wait. But it's not too bad. And now Harris also in. And they're literally neck and neck as they get out the pits. So double stack doesn't cost anything, really. As long as you're enough seconds away. It looks like Mills potentially close on exit here to Ben. Ben in the Haas. Mills ahead of Ben. Ben just hopping in at the last minute. And he is there. And now, wheel to wheel, straight out of the pits. Harris immediately trying to get involved and get past Bryn Evans. This time he's more alongside. Round the curve of Grande. Tuck's just in behind. Now switches to the outside. Evans profusely defending the inside. Harris is going to have to sail around the outside here. And he has got the place temporarily. Bryn Evans trying to fight it back on the inside. They wheel bang into the first Lesmo. Still wheel to wheel. Bryn Evans and Rio Harris. And now into Lesmo 2. There's still wheel to wheel. Rio Harris just has to back out of that move. But Harris immediately trying to get past on Bryn Evans. And now we see Danny Zwart getting past Harley. Harley doesn't make it easy. And the Ferrari is ahead there. But anyway, that was the wheel-to-wheel action that we saw. Wheel banging between the pair of them. And that was certainly the closest we'd seen them really in that part of the lap. Because we'd only really seen them at turn 1 banging wheels. Danny now ahead. And now he's on the hard tyres going to the end of the race, as are a lot of these. Mills, head of Steverex now. Harley has picked up a time penalty for speeding in the pits. He's retired from the race. That's going to cost Red Bull 500k. And so Scenario 7 has got into the lead, but obviously he's not going to be able to go to the end, I don't think, unless he can manage those tyres. He's been on them for 8 laps, so actually he can, I think, he could make it to the end, technically, but it would be a bit of a risk. But, I mean, the risk is there, but, I mean, Mills is going to be closing in pretty quickly as Alfie gets a penalty just ahead. And while Scenario 7, he's not in a bad position with the way he's managed tyres, but he's had 8 laps. Mills is certainly destroying the tyres. And Harley has now left the session. He obviously had damage earlier on in the race, so that was unfortunate for him. So Danny Zwart going to overtake Alfie here. Alfie is ahead on like actual kind of strategy with the way the strategies worked. Going for a bit of a one-stop here, and Danny's not really got the straight line speed with no ERS, but he's still going to dive to the inside. Alfie tries to hold on. Danny will try and cut back, get the power down. On his way, catches a bit of the grass, around the curve of Grande. Should be able to out-drag, but he doesn't have the ERS. Alfie about 10% more. Is just pulling back ahead. The kick Sauber. Bryn Evans is potentially diving up the inside here. Wheel to wheel into the second chicane between the McLaren and Ferrari. This time it's Danny Zwart who's trying to hold on the inside. Bryn Evans trying to soar around the outside. Bryn Evans still trying to go at it, but he's just had to tuck in behind. Bryn Evans looking for a bit of an opportunist move there when Danny was stuck behind the kick Sauber. Now can Danny get by? Alfie's still there, and Evans is getting frustrated now because they are right. Yeah, Evans really wants to try and get by, as Danny seems to not quite have the ERS or just straight line speed in general to overtake the Sauber. He can maybe soar around the outside here. He slightly gets out of shape, maybe gets a tap, maybe runs a bit wide. He'll get Alfie now. I think there's a bit of lag, as now it looks like Bryn Evans is trying to pull ahead. Danny's trying to come back. Rio Harris also getting involved. And they're almost 3 wide going into turn 1. Danny is ahead. Then comes Rio Harris. Then comes Bryn Evans, who seems to be ghosting there a bit. But the 2 Ferraris ahead of the McLaren. But then Harris then lags back behind, I think, there. I think Harris lagged back behind. I don't quite know. And Evans is now going round the outside into the second chicane. It seemed to... don't know if Harris got out of shape there. I was trying to... oh, Evans quickly chops his direction. And again. And Harris wants to get that place back, I guess. I'm sure he does. But look at this scrapping and look at the gap it's creating ahead. Nearly 9 seconds to the Senior Ghosts. And then those 2 out front. Yeah, this is not helping him at all because scenario 7 can make the end of the race just about. So, not helping him. Yellow flag. That looks like it's Stanio. He's just stopped there. This is going to cause a safety car if he doesn't move in the next couple of seconds. He does move. Dylan doesn't have to pit again, I don't think. And Evans is very close to Danny Zwart. Harris as well will be looking to get involved in this scrap, but they don't want to cost themselves too much time. And Evans now, oh, they lock on going into the first chicane. Evans goes the long way. Evans takes the place, and Harris now looking to see if he can get by on his teammate, but I don't think he can. Alfie's still right there, so yeah. Danny looking to go around the outside of Bryn Evans. Bryn Evans defends that inside line once again into the second chicane. And he is in 5th place. But they need to quickly get on with it if they want to catch scenario 7. Mills is he's having his work cut out to catch. He's catching by about a second a lap. And, well, these guys are not because of what is happening. And Danny Zwart is still behind. And Harris and Alfie's getting a box office seat there. He's got the popcorn out, the Sauber able to view this battle, currently for 5th. They're going to have to clear Senior Ghosts at some point as well in the next couple of laps. And then Mills is now putting Dylan under pressure, actually, as Danny is going to take Bryn Evans pretty comfortably into turn 1, and there's no challenge from behind. But maybe Dylan can catch up to scenario 7. They can create a bit of a DRS train here and try and hold on to their position for as long as possible. Or maybe they just want to lose as little time as possible because they know they can finish ahead of these 3 if they just keep it clean. So, yeah, this is all bubbling down to a brilliant end to the race with a lot of uncertainty. Mills now is going to get Dylan soon, but Dylan is trying to get that DRS, of course, and Evans once again trying to get back at Danny Zwart. And there was contact there between the McLaren and Ferrari pushing each other through that corner, and Evans is still right there, and he'll now get DRS down to turn 1, but he might even get a move towards the Parabolica because Harris is right there as well. Mills down towards turn 1. He has overtaken Dylan. That was not too difficult of a move because of the tyre difference, but now this is what we want to see, down towards the first chicane once again. Danny is going to try and hold that inside line. He's going to force Evans the long way. They slightly wheel bang. And Evans just has to back out of it. Slight contact with Rio Harris as well. And they're still there in their current positions as Evans might be getting in the slipstream again here, trying to put the Ferrari under pressure. On the brakes now. And now we'll just quickly see this change of lead. I think here should be maybe into Ascari. It might be down to turn 1 actually, when Mills does go for it. But the battle still goes on. I mean, I've been wanting to try and play a replay for like the last 5 minutes, but there's been no chance to play a replay. Constant action. And here we go then. Seems like Scenario 7 slightly lifting off there almost. Trying to see if he can let Mills by first. And then try and DRS back past, but the McLaren is looming. And the man who took pole position, Alex Mills, retakes the lead of the Italian Grand Prix. We're on lap 25, 3 laps to go, and Alex Mills does lead the race. What's going to happen between these three? Once again, Evans this time is going to get a chance to get to the inside into the first chicane, brakes late enough, takes the place, and he is ahead comfortably of Danny Zwart. But is Danny trying to fight back into the second chicane? Don't think on this occasion, but Evans again, slightly getting a bit out of shape maybe. Mills is trying to get away, setting the purple first sector as well. And let's just quickly see, what is the replay here? I think this was a potential action, but I mean, it doesn't seem that important. This seems like it was a number of laps ago. Let's just go back to the live action now, because we're on lap 25 of 27 at the Temple of Speed, Monza. And Alex Mills is leading, but F1 Scenario 7 is still hanging on. A bit like Alex Mills in Scenario 7 at Silverstone, but the roles are reversed, where Mills was on bad tyres and he was trying to hang on to Scenario 7. But look at that, Scenario 7's managed it. He'll make it to the end. And Evans, they're not even catching up to Senor Ghosts by enough at this point, I don't think. They are kind of swapping over a bit smartly now to try and gain Senor Ghosts with really bad tyres as well compared to some of those. There we go, 79 on the left rear. And we're on the penultimate lap of the race. Dylan doing an excellent job. He's doing the same thing as Scenario 7. Scenario 7, has he got a 10-second time penalty? Because he's not showing as a 3-second, so that could be totally costly there for Scenario 7 if he does have a 10-second time penalty. I didn't catch that at the time, but it does show he's got a penalty, and it's not. Yeah, it's. Ooh! Bryn Evans there, getting all out of shape. Crossing the arms there to keep control of that McLaren. And that could have been his chances at getting 5th place, it seems, or maybe even 4th. They can catch up to Senor. Yeah. In the tatters. But anyway, we're on the final lap now with Alex Mills. Oh, Ghosts is at the puncture for Senor Ghosts down to the Parabolica. He's still going. I think he has picked up the puncture there. So he has spun off, and that is going to be out of the points. He tried to risk it. He had to, really. He was going to get such a good finish if he was able to hold on to those tyres for just one more lap. But he does peel into the pits. And yeah, he's out of the points now. Anyway, Alex Mills has got the gap now over Scenario 7, who might have a 10-second penalty. It's definitely not a 3-second. He only has one warning, but it is showing that he does have a penalty, so I presume that is 10 seconds. And Evans still trying his last attempt at getting past Danny Zwart as well. Let's just quickly see this run to Ascari. I don't think he's quite close enough. Alex Mills, who took pole position for the Italian Grand Prix, finished 2nd there at Silverstone as well with a great strategy, and this time it's totally controlled from Alex Mills to win the Italian Grand Prix. Something happened to Danny Zwart in battle potentially with Bryn Evans, because he's now dropped down to 6th. There's a yellow flag there. Dylan is in 2nd. Where will the penalties shake out for Scenario 7? Scenario 7 does take the podium in the end. Dylan is ahead though. Harris in 4th. Evans in 5th. So Bryn Evans' penalty cost him in the end. Danny, I don't know what happened to Danny. But Alex Mills has won the Italian Grand Prix. Potential changing of position there. Alfie, has he picked up the puncture for Sauber? I think he has as well. So Kick Sauber on for points, but they will get nothing as OS 10 is going to round the final corner. And I think actually Senor Ghosts might pick up the final points there in 10th as they're going to cross the line. And he does pick up the points there. But it is Alex Mills winning the Italian Grand Prix as Reuben Parker takes the fastest lap on the final tour of the race. But there we are. Alfie is just going to cross the line, and that is done for him. Well, then look at that podium. But, I mean, they're not seeing any Ferrari drivers on it. Look at the penalties.